So a little bit about my background. So we're going to talk about evaluating online marketing performance, 6 things, right? So we're going to talk about these 6 key factors. My background, I started selling cars right out of high school. All right, I was 1997, I graduated in 96, so not quite there, but in 97, I had a young family already. Married, son, my dad, a Lutheran conservative pastor, came up to me and said, hey, you're not making ends meet, you need a real job, all right? You should go sell cars. Now, hearing a pastor say that, much less my dad say, hey, that's what you should go do for a living, my mind was blown, right? So I said, all right, my dad's never given me bad advice before. I probably should have listened to him a little bit earlier in life. Maybe I wouldn't be in the same situation I'm in now. So I listened to him, and I went and started selling cars at the local Stillwater Ford Lincoln Mercury store. Worked my way up from sales into finance and sales management. And I learned a lot of great things there. I also learned a lot of bad things. Denny Hecker, the owner, is now in prison. He's getting out, though, okay? He made some mistakes. It happens, right? But I learned a lot from this guy. All right? I learned a lot from the coworkers and the people that I worked. I found out that car dealers and the people that I worked with are some of the most loving, caring, selfless people that are donating to the community on a regular basis, right? And I fell in love. I fell in love with the business. And then I realized, oh, maybe I should see my family, seeing as I was on marriage 2 by then. So found out that it wasn't about time spent with my family. It was about quality of time. So I took a job selling advertising to dealerships as a vendor, and then I realized that, it's just a work ethic sort of thing. I love to work. I love to be there. I started to find some more balance. So that's kind of my background in a nutshell. So why is that important? I don't know. Everybody talks about their background for some reason. Who's been in the business more than 30 years? All right, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50 years? 50 years, all right? That's huge. I go to dealers all over the country in dealer education for Cox Automotive, and I love seeing people that have been in the business this long. That means that there's hope, right? There's hope. There's something to go towards. There's a gentleman, is it Joe, that I met earlier today? He's been in the business 4 months. Where are you? Did he already leave? Dang it. All right, 4 months. We got 4 months to 50. Anybody else in the business less than 4 months? This is a great business. Welcome to it. You're going to love it, okay? So hopefully some of the stuff I'm going to share with you, you'll be able to take with you and say, hey, this is great, okay? And if at any time you say, Micah, slow down, stop, whatever, feel free. Just shout out and say, hey, Micah, I'm going to call BS on that. Go for it, okay? So we're going to start off. The key factors that we need to focus on today. Buy in stock in-demand vehicles. All right, we're going to talk about making vehicles stand tall to potential buyers. Explain the unique and positive attributes of doing business with you. Your why. Always start with why. Continually fine-tune your dealership website. Okay, websites, they're not done. Got that? They're never done. Okay? Your website's not done. You can't just say, I'm done. So we'll get into that. Manage your reputation. What does that even mean, right? And then define appropriate measures of success. This is where, at the end of the day, going to the Cox booth and grabbing the assessment is going to be really important to you, okay? Grab this, go through it, and evaluate it yourselves, okay? As we start diving through this, I'm going to have you some next steps. We're going to talk about how we're going to assess it, create an action plan, and then monitor against best-in-class dealers. So find out what people around you are doing too. So the best thing about stuff like this, like GIADA, is everybody can learn from each other. Okay, they may be your competitors, okay, but our only competition that we have in life is who we were yesterday. Okay, I believe that, okay, because I need to be better because I wasn't good yesterday. I want to be better every single day. So ask each other questions, learn from each other, right? There's a lot of opportunity in this world. So, 1, when it comes to the vehicles, all right, making sure they're standing tall, having the merchandising and the why you branding. So as we start diving through this, take a look. What needs improvement, okay? So on here, we're going to talk about price to market. Make sure that this is, you got this? Come on. All right, so what are we looking at? Want to make sure that we're price to market. Okay? How many of us are going through and taking a look and comparing our pricing to what the market is, right? Who's doing it? Show of hands, right? Now, are we doing it based upon using tools like vAuto and stuff like that? Are you just going straight to the other websites? Websites? Yeah, a little bit of combination of both. We've got to do it, okay? I remember when pricing, when I took a car in, when I first started selling cars, the manager would say, okay, don't forget to put a price on it. I said, okay, what's the price? Well, pricing's easy, Micah. I said, well, okay, well, how do you do it? He goes, whatever we took it in for, just add $5,000. That's how we priced our cars. And then we'd work down from there. So it was always just how much profit we wanted to make. And then we'd find out that maybe we should take a look what other cars are selling for. So Maj did a great job at the beginning, going over a lot of this section, and to make sure that we're managing our time as well. You know, I'm going to say a lot of times ditto to what he said. But making sure that we understand the cost to market. How much are we spending to bring this car to market? What is our average cost for advertising that individual vehicle? Okay? You can figure that out based upon your advertising spend. What's your cost per sale? Also, what is your reconditioning cost? Okay? Is it more cost effective for you to do the reconditioning or through the auction that you're going to buy the vehicle from, have them do the reconditioning? Find out what's going to be the most cost effective for you. Find out what your average investment for your vehicle is. How much is going to be tied up in floor planning? How much are you paying for interest? Market day supply. If you have 30 days worth of vehicles, you have 45 days worth of vehicles. Do you have way too many vehicles, right? Who's got more than 100 units in stock right now? Anybody? Okay. Are we looking close to that 30 to 40 in the room? Majority, 30 to 40 cars? Somewhere in between the two numbers? Okay. All right. Good little mix, right? Making sure that we're managing the inventory so that we can also figure out what is our time to virtual market. That costs money. From the time you buy the vehicle, how long is it taking you to get photos and vehicle information online? Okay, if we're not managing that process to streamline it as fast as possible, we've got to take a look at it, okay? Some things that I saw, I heard from a couple dealers just this past week, some smaller dealers in Minneapolis. I live in Minnesota. I don't know if you picked up on my accent. I've been told I have one, a small one. So I was told that with my accent that some words don't come out. Bag. Side note, the word bag. Do you know what a bag is? Backpack? It turns out I had like 4 A's to the word bag. I thought it was only one. Anyways, when it comes to time to market a vehicle, all right, to the virtual market, one of the dealer that I worked with, an idea that they use, okay, up in Minnesota, is as soon as they see the vehicle, they take pictures of it. Okay? As soon as they see it, they take pictures of it. Okay? And they put those pictures up, and they're purposely bad. Right? They use the worst pictures they can have right off the bat so that they can get those up quicker than as soon as possible. And then they have a little overlay. So they'll like even take it like at a weird angle, and maybe they'll cut off part of it and said, actual new photos coming soon, so that it saves time. So the car's dirty, it's not clean. New photos coming soon. And as soon as they go and get the pictures taken, get it cleaned up, then they swap them out. But they don't want to waste any time that a customer has to see photos coming soon. They don't want to waste that time. Customers, how quickly have we turned a vehicle within 24 to 48 hours of taking it on trade? How often does that happen? All the time. The most popular row at a dealership is the back row, the fresh trade-in row, right? Right? So, time to market. Evaluate. Take a look at where are you? What needs improvement? Below average, average, above average, excellent. We took a look at some of the top performing dealers across the country. Cox Automotive is a big company, right? We got a lot of dealers that are sending us data every day that we're sharing, reciprocating that information. And we're taking a look and evaluating what are the best dealers doing across the country. What are some of the things that they're doing to make sure that they're more profitable than anybody else, right? Not just selling more cars, okay? You don't have to sell more cars to be more profitable, but they're managing their bottom line as well as their top line. Grant had some great things where he's talking about all I care about is how much revenue's coming in, right? Focus on making the money, right? But what they're also doing is they're managing their processes. So when you look at this, identify for you, because your needs could be very different than this couple's needs over here with their vehicles, right? Very different. So evaluate it for yourselves. Standing tall. All right, who's got more than 9 photos of each of their vehicles online? All right, more than 20. How about 30? Keep them up. 40, 50, 60. Water is down. Talking too loud. Sorry. Anybody more than 70, 80? Anywhere in there? I was at a store the other day. All right, I was at a store the other day that had 99 photos of every single car. Whew. Right? Here we're talking about making sure we have more than 9, but this place had 99 photos. What do you think of that? Too many photos, right? Why are they even going to call? They see everything, right? That's our mentality, right? When I first started selling cars, we had liner ads. We didn't even have photos, right? We spent all our money on liner ads in the newspaper. They didn't even have photos, and we would never give them all the information so that we'd give them a reason to call. Price, mileage, but we'd give them price and mileage, but we'd never give them maybe the year, right? We make sure that we're holding something back. But now consumers, if they get 99 photos and they're still calling about that vehicle, what does it tell you about them? They want it, right? The more, the better. More better. I think that's what we're going to say. It's more better to have more photos at times, right? I'm not saying go out and get 99 photos. Not my suggestion. That's their strategy. That's their game plan. They work at a Highline store, Highline used car vehicle store. They figure that with Highlines, the more information that they put out there, the more that they give a customer for free, the more willing when they come in, they're ready to buy. Okay? Also, let's make sure that when our photos are ready to go live, okay, so that one store, they do them right away, but as soon as they get good pictures, right, they swap them out. Anybody ever been to a dating site before? Come on, it's okay. All right, we got a little Plenty of Fish. We got a little, anybody on Tinder? Come on. I'm not going to ask you out. Bumble? Anybody here Bumble? Bumble's a new one.
Farmers Only.
Farmers Only. There, thank you, sir. Honesty. All right? There we go. All right. So that's a thing. Okay, so what do you do on these dating sites when you like something? Come on, you know what to do. So there we go. Swipe, what? You swipe right, right? If our cars were somebody that we wanted to date, would we swipe right? Would we? Would we swipe right? It's hard to say fast, though, isn't it? Or are they going to quickly go left? Or on Tinder, you got the red X, right? So the question is our vehicle standing tall? And then have you ever been to one of those dating sites? Not saying that I have, but maybe. You wonder why somebody started with that photo. It's like, oh, come on, that's a bad photo. And then you start paging through, it's like, okay, no, that's the best photo, right? So we want to make sure that our vehicles are standing tall. Make sure that we're looking at consumer-centric comments, right? What does that even mean? What is a consumer-centric comment? Well, I can tell you what's not consumer-centric. PW, PL, cruise, tilt, all the standard stuff that we talk about all the time, right? It's how we've always built ads, and that's what we do. But does a consumer connect with that information where we just have the quick little bits here and there? Who's doing vehicle walk-around videos? Anybody do it? Okay, we got one or two, okay? There's plenty of places to post these, right? You got third-party sites that can take walk-around videos. We probably have some companies that will even say take their photos and stitch them together and then have like a robot voice. So compelling, that robotic voice. Doing the walk-around, right? Right? We got those. My suggestion, take real video. If you got less than 15 vehicles, make a quick 30-second video. Every time a vehicle comes in, here's some for that video. Have the customer that just traded it in take the video of why somebody should buy their car. They're going to try to sell us on their car anyways. Ask them, hey, for an extra maybe $100, $200 on trade-in, would you mind doing a video on the vehicle why somebody else should buy it from our lot? Ask them. Do something different. A lot of people are doing walk-around videos. Okay? Another way to do it from POV, point of view. Go get a GoPro. Go get one of those Sony head cams, right? Put it on and show the user experience of the vehicle. The consumer, what is that customer going to look like? What are they going to see when they drive that vehicle? Pop it on around your head and then drive around town. Drive around town okay, so I say that because we don't want to be like this with the camera as we're driving. That doesn't go good with anybody, right? Not the safest thing. But grab one of those handy cams and do that perspective so that they can see what they're going to see when they're driving around. Let's see. Another one that I'm going to touch base real quick on, establish a strong presence on third-party sites. Okay, third-party sites, on average, a consumer is going to visit about 8 to 9 third-party sites. That's what they're doing. We saw earlier, Todd said 14 hours worth of time researching, right? Everybody saw that? The average customer spends about 60% of their time shopping online as well. Out of that 14 hours, 60% minimum is online. Now, what's interesting is that we take a look at that breakdown of that time. 56% of a baby boomer's time is spent shopping online, whereas a millennial or a Gen Xer is going about 61, 62%. So there's not a huge variance. So what does that percentage even mean, right? What it means to you is that if a baby boomer walks in and says, I really didn't go on the internet much, you can say, oh, well, maybe you did, right? They're there, right? So let's connect with them. Well, a lot of times when we're asking them, what brings you in to the store? And they'll say, we ask that question. They say, well, I was just driving by, right? Instead of asking what brings you in, just ask them right off the bat, which websites did you go to? Ask them which. We know they went to a website, find out which. It's a great way to quickly source where your customers are coming from too. And if we know that they're coming from a third-party site, spend the time to learn that third-party site. Whether it's TrueCar, whether it's AutoTrader, well, it's Cars.com, Car Connection, Car Soup, whatever the website is, get to know it. Know how a customer can submit a lead through that third-party site. If you're not familiar with it, why are you spending money with it? Second point is now that you know how a customer can submit through those third-party sites, remember that for when you're interviewing that customer, when you're connecting with them. You're on AutoTrader, or you're on TrueCar, or whatever, you're on Cars.com. Oh, while you were there, did you click on the button for the Carfax report that we offer? Just want to make sure if I need to get that for you now or if you already got one. Ask them. Connect with them. When we're taking a look at the vehicle information, the more photos, the better. More better, right? So we got a couple different vehicles that are listed on here. Know what the third-party sites look like, the branding opportunities that are there for you. Kind of go buzz through some of these things here. So, like on a third-party site, they got the price, how to connect. Now, a customer is going to choose the communication process that they're most comfortable with. Okay? If they email, what's our gut reaction? Email back. That is the right answer, right? But if they email and we get that gut reaction, it's like, well, I got to get them on the phone because I can't sell somebody through email, right? First thing one of the things that we've seen is that majority of the time, through all the research that we've done, is that the customer, if they're not getting their answers met in that first email, they're not going to connect. They won't. So we need to earn that right to ask them to switch to a different communication strategy, okay? To a different communication medium. So answer gives us the right to ask. So answer their questions, ask a question. Here's the information you're looking for. I've got some more information for you. Would you be okay with me calling? Or can we move to text message? Who's texting their customers on a regular basis? Awesome. What are you sending through text messages? Collections. What's that? Collections. There we go. Hey, there we go. We got your number, right? Do you got ours? Okay, so we got collections. What else? What else can you send through text message? Links. Well, like what? YouTube, videos, pictures. Perfect. Use them. Use them, use them, use them. This little device, oh, that's the microphone. This little device is one of the best tools created for our industry. Whether we're FaceTiming, whether we're hopping on Skype, text messaging, going live on Facebook. Half the crew here was going live on Facebook when Grant Cardone was talking. Did you see that? In the back, look around. They were all Facebooking right live streaming. Use the tools, don't be tools. That's if you're going to take one thing away from you, that's it. Use a tool, don't be a tool, and communicate with the way the customer wants to be communicated with. So, photos, seller comments. Can you tell that they were on their DMS when they started writing it? Yeah. So, stand tall. Okay? Why you? When I first started training on social media and reputation management training back in late 2009, I think is when I first got into it. Like Facebook just started coming out, reputation management just became a thing. A lot of vendors found ways to try to monetize it as a product set. And one of the first things that I would ask them is why would somebody want to do business with you? A lot of times, like, why would somebody want to connect with us on Facebook? Why would somebody want to connect with us on Instagram? Why would they want to connect with us on Twitter? Why? And I would turn back to them as, why? You tell me. What's great about you? They could buy a used car anywhere, right? They can. They may not be able to buy the exact same used car anywhere, but they can buy a used car anywhere. Why should somebody buy from you? What do you do in the community? Okay? You have to show your customer focus. You have to show that you're customer-centric. You need to share that information. It's horrible that we are in a place where we have to toot our own horn at times. It is. I agree. But the key to winning in any relationship, especially on social or reputation, whatever it is, if you want the one trick that's going to win, that's going to get you there, is you capitalize on people's sense of narcissism without exposing your own, okay? Focus on them, but share your message. Why do we do this? This is what we did for this cause, or this is what we do for this community. This is a husband and wife that really couldn't quite make ends meet, so we helped them out this one time. Whatever it is, whatever that story is, share it, okay? Customer testimonials. There's a big difference between customer testimonials and reviews. What's the difference between a customer testimonial and a review? Difference is this. A review, if you're posting reviews, you're not filtering negative, okay? You're not hiding the negative. A testimonial, you will, okay? So take a look. Does your website, which is never done, right? Constantly changing, constantly growing. All right, making sure it's mobile friendly because Google's going to change something again. Are we constantly evaluating it? Now, when we do this, does it share a clear why buy from you message? Is there a clear why buy from you message? If not, what can you do to improve that? If you do have this, obviously then you mark it on the assessment that you'll pick up at the Cox Automotive booth later. You'll mark that doesn't need to be worked on. Okay? But having the fun photos, the best performing photos on a social media site, okay, on any social media site, even if they're on your own website, is with actual customers, actual people, okay? Those are the top performing because people want to relate with people, okay? You have opportunities on your third-party sites to put together your brand message, right? You want to make sure that your website has a clear, concise, strong dealership branding message. Make the most of your digital most of the space that you have on your website. Easy to find contact information. Should be nice and easy to click to call, right? If I'm looking at somebody's website, I see the phone number, I want to do this, right? I just want to be able to push it and call. Make sure it's clickable and easy. Okay? Maximize hero image on homepage with important marketing message. So usually it's the big photo right in the center of that box. Where does it go? What type of information do you have in there? Do you have specials? Do you have vehicles that you're trying to sell? Do you have specific partnerships? Do you have landing pages created that link to that? So if you have a photo of a happy family, where is it? Like this one, you have a happy family taking delivery, and that's the center of your dealership's website. Where does that go? If somebody were to click that, where does that go? It should have its own page, happy customers. Maybe they have a story. Maybe they have a story that they want to share with how they connected with you. Share that story. There's all these options, all these opportunities out there for people to connect with other people through vehicles. So, as we continue, making sure, boom, maximize hero images, easy navigation of options, inventory, if you have service options there, and then understand search keywords. How are people searching for you? What are they doing? How are they finding? You can go to, Google has a lot of, Google AdWords tools, search tools that you can just kind of pop in. All right, if you go into Google and say, search keywords for my website, and they'll give you the links. There's a whole bunch of companies that do this too, right? This is something that you can easily do. You can find out how people are connecting, how they're finding you, right? By using keyword search tools. Okay? Make sure that you have the branding integrated in there. Like Len's Truck Center, used vehicles. It's a used truck dealership up in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. But they have a clear, concise message. Okay? Where are your customers coming from? This is where their customers are coming from. They're pulling customers from everywhere. Used car store, right? How are they connecting that far? Because they're managing their reputation. They're managing their keyword phrases, how people are connecting with them. They know where their customers are coming from, and they're marketing appropriately. Got that? Anybody have service departments? Okay. Service departments on site, are they open to your customers, or is it just for recon? Okay, are you doing kind of like that standard OEM process of, hey, when you buy a car from us, you can also service with us and have the salespeople walk them through? Do you have a video explaining or introducing your service team to your customers? Okay, people say, well, what type of videos can I make? Well, one, introduce every single employee. Explain why somebody should do service with you as opposed to another business. Why go with you as opposed to the OEM that originally manufactured that vehicle. So there's a lot of opportunity. Brand, brand, brand. Reputation. So, getting through this. Engage with the customer on the lot for testimonials. Get those reviews. Ask them for them. What's your process? Before you go, if you had a good experience with me, I really appreciate your business. Would you do me a favor? I'm going to send you a link. Would you go ahead and write a review about your experience with me, good, bad, or indifferent? I want to make sure that I answered your questions. I want other people to know what type of business to expect, that they should be able to expect from working with me, right? Have a strong Google profile, all right? It's free, right? Making sure that you have a strong Google profile for your business on the maps, making sure that you're linking to the maps with the phone numbers, making sure that you're looking at that with photos. Content is king, but marketing is queen. And we all know who owns and runs the kingdom, right? The queen does. Anybody watch Game of Thrones? Okay. Holy cow, season finale. If you haven't watched it, you will. I know you will. But right? Am I right? Thank you. Queens really do rule. Okay. So, continuous monitor and manage Facebook and Twitter pages. Okay. So yes, Facebook and Twitter, really important. Facebook reviews, very important. Okay? Have your employees, who's got more than 3 or 4 employees? More than 3? Okay. Are you letting your employees utilize social media for your brand? I would say if you aren't, you should. And I've had this. Okay, all right, this is a fun one. I had somebody say, whoa, I don't want my salespeople on Facebook talking about me. It's like, so you're going to trust them. You don't trust them to post about you on Facebook to a few hundred people. But you're going to trust them to work one-on-one privately with somebody and their money and their personal information? All right? Where's the real risk here? Then my follow-up question is, if you don't trust your employees, who hired them? So is it an employee issue or is it a hiring issue? Great company that I've run into recently. I don't know if you heard of it, Hireology. Have you guys heard of them? If you haven't, take a look. Hireology. Not associated with me, great company. They help you to evaluate hiring practices, whether your needs are a few people every year, but how do you constantly find the right people? Hireology, great place to start. Why do I bring up Hireology while we're talking about reputation? Because it's your people that give you a reputation, right? If you're not hiring the right people, you're going to have a bad reputation. It's the way it is, right? Lives and breathes on that. So establish a process and dealership guidelines for responding to reviews. I think we kind of touched a little bit about reviews here, a little bit today. It's important, right? But I'm not going to say that the most important thing is to get a bunch of good reviews. It's not. It's not. The best review your dealership could ever get is not a 5-star, okay? 5 stars you can pay $5 for on Fiverr, right? Not that I'm telling you to do that. Please don't do that, okay? That was bad advice, as my kids would tell me. Dad, that's bad advice. Okay, I've got a 19-year-old. Of course I'm going to give him bad advice just to see what he does. Anyways, where was I? Reviews. Yes, a 5-star review isn't necessarily the best type of review you get, okay? Any review that affects your business for the positive, whether that means that you changed a process to give better customer service down the road, or you fixed the problem for an unhappy customer who's now a loyal fan, right? Who's now a loyal customer. I don't want satisfied customers. I don't. I want loyal customers, right? Satisfaction comes and goes. It changes. Customer loyalty, but we have that loyal customer. That's what really matters. And having a good process to manage our reputation, hiring the right people, and training and educating the right people, that's what matters, okay? So take a look what's on there. If you haven't read your reviews recently, go on there, read them. Yeah, if they haven't been responded to, start making a plan to move forward, right? Moving forward, I'm going to do this. Put that down as a little note. I'm sure you've got some notes here. Also, there's an opportunity on here. What are some things for your action plan that you're going to be focusing on and working on? Okay? So, having a section here with your reviews, with your testimonials, integrate them into your website. Have the links available. Hey, would you like to write a review about doing business with us? We'll publish them on our website. Don't be scared of the negative, okay? Be scared of not being able to figure out a way to make it right. I'm at 4 minutes. Got it? All right, so with the reviews, the testimonials, integration in there, create landing pages with them on your website. And if you don't know how, that's okay. There's a lot of people out there in this industry, in here, that even just saying, hey, you've got this website, this is how you click to do it. A lot of people will just help you and share that with you. If you're spending money with a provider that says, hey, I don't know how to do this, could you show me how to do it? They'll do it, right? For the most part. And if not, is that a partnership, right? Is that a true partnership if they're not willing to show you how to do something? No, right? This is your business. This is your storefront. A lot of people used to say, this is our virtual show floor, right? It's not. It's not your virtual show floor. Auto Trader is not your virtual inventory. It's not that. It's your first. It's your first show floor. Second one is the brick and mortar, right? That's a second experience that they're going to have with our vehicles. So constantly improve, constantly change, do A/B testing, right? There's a lot of ways to see what we can do to improve. Start paying attention how often people are searching your sites, how many times they're looking at VDPs, vehicle detail pages, how many times each vehicle is getting the views. The majority of our vehicles don't get views. There's a small percentage that do. So a couple of other things to just point on. Make sure that the emails, phone calls, ways to connect. Make sure that shopper engagement's there. Ways to connect with you, all right? And then make sure that you can submit a lead and practice on yourself. Test it. If you have a problem pulling up your mobile device and submitting a lead, what is your customer going through? Practice, practice, practice. All right. Top 5 measures of success. That's your homework assignment, okay? Put together your own assessment, all right? Identify your top 5 measures of success. Right on the back of the sheet, it's there available to you. So as soon as you're done in here, well, not as soon as we're done with me. Obviously, when they open that up, go in there, take a look at it. Where am I on time? Like 2-ish? 2-ish? Okay, all right. You notice this entire time that when you've been holding that sign up, there's a ginormous bright light right there? So I have to do that. Okay, there we go. So I'm down to like, what, 145 now? Okay. Rate your store's performance. This is your dealership. Inspect it. Inspect it, inspect it, inspect it. Quit spending time on your business and start focusing in your business, right? So, other books. I love books. I love books. I didn't read all of Grant's books. I've read a couple of them. But Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody connect with Gary V? Anybody hear of Gary V? Gary Vaynerchuk's written 4 books. Phenomenal. He changed my life. I lost my job. The market back in 2008 crashed, right? I was out of work and I didn't know what to do. I thought I was always going to be able to be in the car business. I went and worked part-time for a week running microphones at a Tony Robbins event. Okay? I had a connection. I ran into Gary Vaynerchuk, learned from him that social media marketing is the key. So pick up any one of his books, okay? Start with it. Crush It. Thank You Economy. Jab, Jab, Right Hook. His latest book, Ask Gary Vee. I love audiobooks. Not because I don't like to read, but because I spend a lot of time on a plane and I don't want to carry a lot of books with me, or I drive. I listen to audiobooks, and most of the time the author reads them themselves. He gives additional insight. Another great one. The Challenger Sale. How are we communicating, building up value? How are we creating value in us and the products that we sell? Yeah, we sell cars. It's one of the most valuable things. It gets people to work. It gets people to get their medication. It gets people to clean, healthy foods because a lot of neighborhoods don't have them, right? So it's important, right? What we do is important. So how do we create and convey that message. Okay, another one, predictably irrational. If you'd like to just dive into data, Predictably Irrational is another great book. I try to go have about 2 or 3 books going on at any one time, just so that I kind of look at like, anybody watch like 3 or 4 TV shows at a time? I do the same thing but with books, right? Have 3 or 4 different books going on. That way if I get bored with one, I can jump to another channel, right? That's what I do. So whether it's Kindle, whether you got the paperback books, whether you listen to audiobooks, whatever it is, dive in. Because nobody else is going to educate you on your business but you, right? It's up to us. So when I lost my job, I had to rebrand myself. I had to learn something new, and that's what I did, okay? So creating that action plan, what are your biggest opportunities? What can we do to improve in this area? What can I engage to establish best practices in this area? These are things that you need to think about. My role as a dealer educator is free of charge. So if you're a client and you'd like to have like an educator come out and work with your team, work with a group of your dealers at a time just like this, just let me know. Connect up there and say, hey, I want to get Mike out there to educate and work with my team. I'll be it. I just got the you're dead symbol. So at this, I'm going to let it go. When it comes to customer handling, all that stuff, we'll just connect a little bit later. I'll be here for a little bit before I have to fly out, but I will just leave it at, you're missing Disney. I'm sorry. We're going to leave it at, see, all those photos. See, you can create your own narrative. So, assess, create an action plan, monitor against best in class places, and at that, I'll say thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy